It is your boy T with another Have You Seen That with T movie review, and today I'm reviewing Love at First Sight. So I'm not exactly sure where this movie came from. I just saw it. It kept popping up on my Netflix feed. Love at First Sight, Love at First Sight. And if you know me, you know I love a good romantic comedy. I'm a huge romantic comedy guy. It is truly my jam. It's truly my bag. So at first I thought it was another foreign movie because Netflix loves themselves some good foreign movies from Spain, from Portugal, from Brazil, from Poland. They do it all, right? So at first glance, I thought it was going to be another foreign film, and nothing against foreign films, but I just was not in the mood. Then I saw the actors, right? You got Haley Sue Richardson and Ben Hardy. So I said, oh, okay. And this, of course, is very American to me. I said, it's American, so I'm going to give it a chance. Didn't see a preview. Immediately when they started, showing the cast and they showed that Jamila Janelle was in it, Janelle, I was all the way in. I'm a huge fan of The Good Place, one of my favorite shows of all times, and I enjoy looking at her on screen, and she played a huge part in this movie. So Love at First Sight is about two very beautiful young people who meet each other on an airplane going to London. One person is going to their father's wedding, and the other person is going to their mother's memorial. And that plays a big part in the second half of the movie. So the beginning of the movie, you have these two wonderful people who just so happen, fate just sits them next to each other on the plane. Fate, just like this is going to be a very broad, stereotypical generalization, but most women, my wife included, refuses to charge their iPhones when they need to be charged. So nine times out of 10, if you're talking to them on the phone and their phone goes dead, it's because they never charge their phone overnight like most normal humans do. At least at least in my world, most normal humans charge their phone to get ready for a very productive day the next day. But for some reason, just like Hadley, my wife refuses to charge her phone at night sometimes, or she forgets to charge her phone at night sometimes, and then she wonders why she's on 5% the next day. And, then she's bound by a charger. Another story for another day, but that's one of one of the reasons that fate kind of bring these two characters together, sit next to each other on this plane, and they have this just this wonderful cross-Atlantic journey on a plane, getting to know each other, talking about their fears, talking about their loves, and you can tell like there's a really cool chemistry between the two leads. They both really seem to be very genuine when it comes to their connection with each other. And then once they get to London, they lose each other. And this has happened, those missed connections, those missed opportunities where you meet the person, who just kind of gives you those butterflies, and then for some reason either you forget their number, you don't put their number in the phone, you never got their full name, so you can't look them up on these socials. That happens to them, and then fate kind of brings them back together. She overhears someone at her father's wedding talk about this memorial, about this kid who just flew from the US to go to his mom's memorial, and those two have this really genuine moment in which reality kind of hits in, right? You have this great time on a plane and you're in this very enclosed environment, and then you get to meet someone in their actual physical lifestyle environment, and you realize it's not as simple as it was on that plane, and they come into a very genuine emotional event for Oliver, the lead character, Ben Hardy's character. And she doesn't know how to handle that, and he doesn't know how to handle it. Both of them kind of get into their first fight, right? And that's life. When you meet someone in a very sterile environment, it's really easy to be perfect. It's really easy to come across as perfect because you're in this very sterile environment. I always equate it to a military deployment. You're in this very sterile environment. You don't have any real world issues because you're over there fighting a real world battle. battle, right? But there are a lot of love that come from that, right? When people get in this very sterile environment, and trust me, if you've been in the military, you know what I'm talking about. People, get used to normalcy within a very unrealistic location, or unrealistic, expectation grows from the simplicity of not having to worry about anything. And that's where going to, Oliver's parents' memorial, these two characters kind of get into a rut because now they're faced with real life. Like, he's dealing with a real life emotional event, a significant emotional event. She's going through her own things. So you see the conflict there, which is really cool. Like, because it's not a very straightforward, lovey-dovey romantic comedy. It's a very realistic take on meeting someone who you just find very interesting, you find very attractive, you find very intriguing. And I thought that was really cool what they did with that in the movie. And all throughout the movie, I thought it was really cool how Janelle keeps popping up as these different characters. And I thought that was really cool. That's another one of my, the kind of fairy godmother type character she plays in this movie. And it was just a good movie. It was a feel-good movie. Oliver's parents, the memorial in itself was a very unique event within the movie. And just the love that those two showed for each other throughout the movie, they kind of grounded it in a very realistic way, saying that, it's not all negative, right? Love is not always negative. You could possibly meet the love of your life in one day and then 50 years later, 70 years later, still have that same feeling, still love that person with all of your heart because that's what you choose to do. And I thought that was really a really cool turn in the movie because, Hadley, on the other hand, her father was remarrying and she was dealing with the fact that, her father left her mother, and not in a very, negative way. They just fell out of love, and that happens too. Right? She's coming from a very different place than Oliver, whose parents are just eternally in love, like to the very last breath. Those two are going to love each other with all they have. And I thought that was a very, very cool way of having the characters diverge. And the movie itself was very cute. It was very Hallmarkish, but at the same time, not overly cheesy. I thought that was a cool thing about the movie, that it wasn't extremely cheesy in any shape, form, factor. It just was a movie that existed. It was a lot of love in this movie. And the ending, of course, was a fairy tale ending between two people who just so happen to meet each other on a plane. So Love at First Sight, it's on Netflix now. If you definitely check it out if you haven't already. It's like the #1 movie on Netflix, which is a very skewed rating system. I feel like Netflix has a new #1 all the time. And for some reason, I feel like I'm sinking in my chair. If I'm going to replay this and see if my chair hydraulics is just going bad on me. I need to figure out how to fix that because I feel like I'm slowly sinking. At some point, I felt like I was up here. Let me check this for a second. Oh, yep, I have been slowly sinking. So if you watch this video, probably if you watched the last video that I put out, I've been slowly sinking in my chair. Don't judge me. At some point, I used to always keep my chair all the way low, but I didn't like the way it looked with the TV in the background and all of my background when I'm sitting extremely low like this. But I guess maybe I could lower my camera. Who knows? Maybe I'll try that another time. Here we go. All right. You know what? Have you seen that with T? The YouTube channel, we're growing every day. I'm trying new things, trying new editing techniques and things like that. So please, stay with me on this journey. This is nowhere near perfect. This is not my perfect studio scenario. I'm getting there, but it's just not there yet. But yeah, Love at First Sight. What did you think of it? Did you love it? Was it the perfect rom-com? I really like this movie because I love rom-coms. This movie has already jumped into my top 10 movies of 2023. Don't judge me. It's my own personal opinion. I enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I enjoyed the way it made me feel. It made me feel very confident in my love, very confident in my marriage, very confident in the woman that I'm spending the rest of my life with. It definitely was one of those feel good movies where you just kind of feel. I enjoy feeling that feeling. And I enjoy knowing that when I turn the movie off, I get to feel that feeling somewhere in my house. So once again, what did you think of Love at First Sight? Please don't judge me for putting it in my top 10 already, but it's there. Maybe another movie will knock it out. Who knows? We got some good ones coming up at the end of the year. I'm extremely excited for some of those movies coming up. We got The Creator coming up. That might knock it out of my top 10 right there. The Creator with John David Washington. I'm extremely excited for that movie coming soon. But until next time, it is your boy T with another Have You Seen That with T movie review. And definitely like and subscribe to the page. Any help is greatly appreciated. Any support is greatly appreciated. And I will catch you guys next time.